Now at 10, a local library honors Black History Month with an interactive Black History Fair. Plus, Pittsburgh residents participate in the annual Polar Plunge for Special Olympics Kansas. And Fort Scott Chamber of Commerce teamed up with local businesses for a chocolate crawl shopping event.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Despite the weather, more than 100 people in Pittsburgh found themselves in a pool today for a good cause. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Lily Snowy. KOAM's Samantha Walker tells us more about this year's Polar Plunge benefiting Special Olympics.
The 18th annual Polar Plunge for Special Olympics in Pittsburgh made quite the splash. 150 people found themselves jumping into water around 40 degrees for the cause.
This is a law enforcement torch run event, so this is one of the many events that the law enforcement across the nation put on for our Special Olympic athletes.
All proceeds from the plunge go to help support Special Olympics Kansas.
Buys medals, it rents venues, it gets our athletes to sports competitions, it helps with health and fitness, helps buy their equipment. Anything and everything to do with Special Olympics is what this funds.
One Special Olympic athlete says the event is an important one.
Well, they help the athletes raise money for Special Olympics and for a good cause and everything, and the athletes love it.
We are anticipated to break $50,000 for this event.
Chevy Peters is a world champion with Special Olympics. He says seeing the community support is meaningful.
It makes it feel really good, not just for the athletes, but for the people that come here to help support Special Olympics Kansas.
But this is important because this brings everybody in the community together. We all get to come together and we all get to have a good time for someone else.
One plunge participant says that despite the temperatures, the jump wasn't too bad.
You know, it actually wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. It was, once you're in there, it's a little cold, but you get used to it pretty quick, so it wasn't too bad.
In Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
There are more than 4,000 Special Olympic athletes in Kansas. To read more about the cause, visit our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us for a first look at weather.
Well, we've had some cooler temperatures today and a winter weather advisory for some of our southern counties. In Craig County and Ottawa County and Benton County, there's just a few right now that's going to be in effect until Monday at noon. And I do expect to see some of our central counties also have a winter weather advisory as we move into Sunday. We do see a few rain showers in our area right now, but that's just due to a little system coming in, and our next system we're tracking still a ways away, and we'll be moving into our area a little bit later Sunday afternoon into the evening hours, starting off as rain and then moving to snow as we get into the overnight hours on Monday. But I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you soon, Lindsay. Well, the Fort Scott Area Chamber of Commerce has found a pretty sweet way to encourage shopping. Today, the chamber held the Love Local chocolate crawl with stores in downtown Fort Scott. Shoppers were invited to shop locally while sampling a variety of different chocolates. Participants were encouraged to stop at least 3 or more participating businesses.
It's important to shop local. You're keeping the money in your hometown and you're keeping your friends and family businesses open.
The chamber hopes the event encourages people to shop local. The slogan for this year's chocolate crawl was "You can't buy love, but you can buy local." The Joplin Public Library today highlighted Black history and culture in honor of Black History Month. It included a storytelling presentation from local authors, all ages book displays, and a children's crafts table. Among some of the local organizations participating were the Easttown Dreams District and the George Washington Carver National Monument.
I think that what we would really like for people to take away from the fair is not just thinking about Black history as a one-time a year thing, and just to see the wealth of things that are happening and how history is being made every day, and that it's not just Black history, it's American history, it's history for everyone.
Interactive tables and displays were available from 11:45 until 1 this afternoon. The Carl Junction Area Chamber of Commerce today hosted a service project for local nonprofit organizations. Volunteers were able to spend their morning going to various nonprofits and helping them with service projects, including mowing, painting, trash pickup, and much more.
You know, everybody comes together to volunteer and give their time. And these organizations don't have paid employees, so most of the time it's a nonprofit. So they don't have the resources to get these projects done for themselves. So when they can get these volunteers, it's just a great blessing for them.
Volunteers were able to help more than 10 local nonprofits. In Republic, Missouri, an historic building downtown is torn down because of its poor condition, but the local historical society is hoping to use the property to permanently honor the Southwest Missouri town's heritage and provide a place for community gatherings. Joe Hickman has more.
And it says laid June the 9th, 1901.
These are some of the surviving blocks from an historical piece of downtown Republic that is no more. A 123-year-old building right next to City Hall that had been home to a little bit of everything.
Bob Best had a buggy shop in there.
It was Harris Ford, and then it was Ligon Teeter's Ford Company. And after that, the city purchased it, and it became a jail, city court, city hall.
The building had to be torn down because of its poor condition. And although the Republic Historical Society tried to save it,
it had been deteriorating for about 30 years. And we agreed with the city that it wasn't safe to make any repairs.
But now the group is working with the city to use this historical property to preserve history.
To take that property and build a museum and an event center. We're going to work with donations and grants. We hope to do a 2-story building with a 19th century facade that looks like it fit on Main Street back in the 1920s and 1930s.
The railroad town has a unique history that includes this wreck of 2 locomotives in 1902 and 2 downtown mills at one point that included
the largest wheat mill in the United States at one time.
And then there's the infamous Young Brothers Massacre in 1932 in Brookline, now a part of Republic, in which 6 law enforcement officers were killed and the worst single murder of U.S. police officers in the 20th century. It came 2 years after Town Marshal Mark Noe was murdered by Harry Young when Noe tried to stop Young for drunk driving in downtown Republic.
Mark Noe was sitting on a bench over here across the road, and he jumped on the underboard of the young boys because they were driving erratically and scuffled with a gun while they killed him.
Republic's downtown isn't as vibrant as it once was, as most of the commerce has moved south to Highway 60. But the Historical Society is hoping this property will be a part of a downtown revitalization.
We're excited about the city's growth. The City of Republic growing and is good for the Historical Society because people want to know what was here, what did it look like.
You can't lose where we came from, and that's what we have in mind, you know.
Football fans flocked to Las Vegas ahead of the Super Bowl, but not everyone is going to the game. We'll take a look at how businesses are preparing for watch parties. Plus, experts say fans looking to score a last-minute Super Bowl ticket should be aware of some new scams. Ticket is likely too good to be true because of new tricks from scammers. Intelligence company NISO says hackers are taking advantage of football fans looking to score last-minute tickets for the big game. Scammer tactics include creating fake tickets by editing images and picking targets based on common words consumers search, such as Super Bowl or looking for tickets. Tech experts advise fans to be aware of people who try to complete deals quickly and to be cautious of sellers asking to name your price. Well, who needs a ticket to the Super Bowl when the Super Bowl is in Las Vegas? CBS's Jamie Yuka shows us how Sin City plans to host one epic game day party for fans not attending the big game.
At Sahara Las Vegas, the red carpet is in place and the finishing touches are happening ahead of their Super Bowl pool party. While inside, all the TVs will be tuned to the big game at Chickies and Pete's, named Best Sports Bar in America by ESPN.
We have great hotel rooms, of course. We have great restaurants. We have, those great parties. So, you have the whole spectrum of things in front of you to take advantage of.
Just down the road, 3,000 people are expected at Circa Hotel's Stadium Swim, where the water will be heated to 98 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, Vegas is ready to party every weekend, but this one's just amped up. I mean, having the big game here in Vegas, it just adds a whole nother element.
Hundreds of parties are scheduled from the Strip to downtown. General admission to most parties is $70 to $200. But if you want any extras, like a private cabana at Circa, those are going for $15,000.
Those are individually negotiated, and what's crazy about it is all these cabanas. I mean, effectively, they were sold out, about 10 months ago.
Even when not a host city, Las Vegas is often the place to be for partygoers during the Super Bowl because of this: big screens and big chances to bet.
It's nicer to watch it, like here, than be in there, because it's more comfortable. In there, what are you going to see in there? It's going to be loud and probably not going to enjoy it.
The city is expecting 500,000 visitors over all of Super Bowl weekend. With Allegiant Stadium capacity around 65,000, there are plenty of people planning to party on game day. Jamie Yukas, CBS News, Las Vegas.
And don't forget, you can watch the Super Bowl 58 right here on KOAM or streaming on Paramount Plus. Experts say spending on Super Bowl parties will reach another record high this year. A report from Wells Fargo found despite rising inflation, a boost in job growth has helped fuel consumer spending. U.S. companies hired nearly 2.5 million more workers last month compared to a year ago. Some Super Bowl snacks are actually a little more affordable. Wings are down 5 to 10% compared to last year. The price of beef is up slightly, but while beef and soft drinks are expected to cost more than ever. A little later, the Missouri Southern women's basketball team looks to keep their winning streak as they take on Central Missouri. We'll have the highlights.
We'll also talk about this wintry weather system we have moving in on Super Bowl Sunday up next. Well, winds are starting to pick back up out there, and temperatures have cooled off a lot since we saw them at 70 degrees on Friday. Taking a look outside at our Cornell Complex camera downtown Joplin, you can see the winds blowing. Kind of a cloudy night, and we don't see any showers in the Joplin area, although we might see some around some other counties in our viewing area. We do have a winter weather advisory currently issued for some of our southern counties. Craig County, Ottawa County, Benton County, just a few in the southern region, issued until Monday at noon, and this could continue to expand as we move through closer to the winter system that we have coming in on Sunday. I do expect to see some of our central counties also get a winter weather advisory. We may see a few showers pop up a little north of Joplin due to that system moving in a little ahead of the main system that we're looking at. That's over here in the Texas Panhandle, making its way into our area Sunday evening, maybe a little bit earlier, due to this deep trough moving through the U.S., and it starts to become a closed low, meaning it's going to move a little bit slower and be a little bit widespread as it makes its way through our area. It's going to be quite intense snowfall through our viewing area. This is where we start to see the rain come in a little bit early on Sunday. Just in our southern counties, it'll start to inch up as we make it our way. By 9:30, most of our southern counties are receiving rain. This will taper off, and then we'll have just scattered showers across the area by 4 o'clock on Sunday. So this could affect maybe some driving to your Super Bowl parties. The main amount of rain and snow doesn't come in until a little bit later into the evening overnight hours, moving into Monday, 2:30 a.m. That's when we start to see the snow come in on our southwestern counties. Over there, it starts to make its way in a little bit earlier on Monday, so this could affect your morning commute. Now, these temperatures are only dropping down to right about freezing, a little bit above freezing, and not going to be below freezing, so we may not see this stick on the roads, but we could see some accumulations as this passes through. It's going to be a pretty heavy band of snow just going straight south of Joplin and through Springfield. Dropping could be a little bit of snow in our area. We're going to take a look and see how much we're predicting. In our northern counties, just some accumulation on the grass, with our central counties having about 1 inch up to 3 inches of snow. Now this could change depending on how we see that track moving, but what we're expecting to see is our southern and southeastern counties getting the most amount of snow, up to 3 inches, possibly more. Then moving into next week, we do see the temperatures warm back up as the sun comes back out. So that snow, if it does stick, will melt away pretty quickly.
Everyone will have to make sure that they're being safe while they're out on their roads tomorrow night.
Definitely.
Right. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get a severe weather update sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Still ahead, we take a look at the field rolling into Super Bowl 58. And Missouri Southern women's basketball looks to continue their win streak. Brock Baldridge has the highlights and more up next in sports.
Well, the Missouri Southern Lions women's basketball team is currently on a 15-game winning streak. The Lions' schedule starts to bulk up now with only 4 more home games remaining in the season. Southern back at home this afternoon. The Lions look to keep the streak alive against the Central Missouri Jennies. In the first quarter, Hannah Berg picks up the loose ball here and finds Caitlin Honeycutt open on the wing as she drains the 3 ball. Later in the half, it's Maggie Saki who drives into the paint and gets the rock to go in there. A few possessions later, it's Saki who fires away from beyond the arc and puts it in. However, Southern trails by 9 points going into the halftime period. In the second half now, Brooke Luttrell finishes a layup on the fast break. Then later, look at this, Luttrell fighting to keep the ball alive, but Brandy Hudson comes from behind and rips it out and gets the layup to go. Hudson finished with a team-high 27 points for Southern today. But the Jennies had an answer for everything as Allie Clevenger knocks down the 3 there, and then Allie Vigil puts this game to bed with another 3. Central Missouri comes in and upsets Missouri Southern 78-65. The Jennies snap the Lions' 15-game winning streak.
I take responsibility for that and have them making sure they're prepared, making sure we're getting after it in practice right now, and make sure we continue to get better. We got a full week before we play our next game, and then it becomes the old football adage: you got a week before you play instead of playing 2 days later, which most times you got in basketball. So we got a full week to kind of mull on this and learn from it, and I think our kids will.
The Missouri Southern men's team in action this afternoon. The Lions take the floor against Central Missouri. Early in the game, it's Darius Dawson who goes one-on-one and hits the mid-range jumper from the baseline. And a few possessions later, it's Dawson once again, but from this time beyond the arc, Dawson finished with a game-high 22 points. Lions led by 2 at that point. Later in the half, it's Avery Taggart who knocks down the 3-point shot there in the corner, but the Lions weren't done from 3 yet. Vincent Sigmund is going to miss right here, but Sam Thompson picks up the rebound, and then Winston Desasau's wide open, and he swishes that one home. The Lions shot 46% from 3 in the first half. Closing minutes of the first half now, Martin Messinas pump fakes, then gets the 10-foot jumper to go. Missouri Southern goes on to win this game 71-62. The Lions are now 9-8 in conference play. Pitt State also in action this afternoon for their pink out game. The Gorillas entered today on a 5-game winning streak. They now extend that to 6 games. Pitt State beats Lincoln 88-70. Grace Pyle scores 22 points, and Corinna Gerber picks up a double-double. Pitt State men are also riding a 5-game winning streak coming into today. Make it 6 straight wins for the men's team now. The Gorillas win this game 75-56. Marquis English and Jeremy Shaw each had 20 points. Pitt State faces Missouri Southern next Saturday on the road in Joplin. Well, the Missouri Southern Lions baseball team returns home this weekend. The Lions won their first home game of the season 15-1 on Friday, and now today they look to win the series. Southern facing a Washita Baptist once again. Today is a doubleheader for the Lions. In Game 1, Southern wins 6-0, and then in Game 2, the Lions win the series 5-1. They sweep it along, and they improve to 6-2 on the year. Missouri Southern softball is in Bentonville, Arkansas for a doubleheader this afternoon. The Lions fall in Game 1, being shut out 8-0, but they come back strong in Game 2, winning 13-2. Now we head over to Pitt State baseball now for a home doubleheader against the Regis Rangers. In Game 1, the Gorillas get shut out as PSU wins 8-0. But in Game 2, the Gorillas get a slim margin of victory, but hey, a win's a win. They'll take it. They win the game 2-1. Last but not least, the Pitt State softball team is 8-0 to begin the year coming into the today. They have a doubleheader against Southern Nazarene. They lose that one 4-1 game 1, but they bounce back in game 2 as they beat number 16 Oklahoma Christian 5-4. Well, after 2 weeks of interviews and talking football, the Kansas City Chiefs are finally going to hit the field for Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58. Patrick Mahomes was asked earlier this week on his thoughts on if the Chiefs are being an NFL dynasty.
I feel like dynasties for other people to kind of talk about after your career is done. All you can do is enjoy the moment. I know we've won a lot of football games and been in a lot of Super Bowls, but until you go out there and do it year in and year out and have the mindset of continuing to be great, I don't know if you ever really just talk about it. You just focus on just going out there and winning it as much as possible and let people talk about it once you're done.
Well, the field being used for the Super Bowl has been outdoors all week, trying to gather as much sun and moisture as possible before the big game. As you can see here, the field is natural grass, rolled in and out for games and rolled out for maintenance. It's the second year in a row where the Super Bowl is being played on a surface that rolls into a stadium. Well, that's your look for sports. We'll be back after this.
Meet your 2024 players in the 20th annual Puppy Bowl. Cuteness Overload is once again taking over the big screen on Animal Planet's Puppy Bowl, and I certainly am not complaining. Teams Rough and Fluff will face off this Sunday before the Super Bowl. The game features more than 130 rescue pups, all looking for forever homes. Some of this year's MVPs include Cronut, Patrick Mabones, Guy Ferrari, Beignet, and more. Well, how cute are they? I know that I will be watching that for sure. We'll find a note on weather.
So we do have the rain and snow coming in. Rain just to start Sunday, and then the snow starts to come in a little bit later Sunday evening into Monday morning. So it might hold off until after all the Super Bowl festivities have just ended.
Yeah. It's a lot to look out for, but we get those 60-degree days in the middle of the week.
Yes, we do have a few good days.
Looking forward to, especially coming from Minnesota. I will never, ever complain about a 60-degree day in February. Well, that's our time for now. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here in the studio, have a great evening.